So how do you prefer to be called? Because everywhere I see it says something different, but like we're friends, so I don't quite call it so. But like, what do you
Yeah.
prefer professionally to be called?
So the actor part of me writes down L. Jeffrey Moore on programs and stuff like that. That's just for acting stuff. Just call me Jeff.
Just call you Jeff. So if I'm on the
Yeah,
street and I didn't know you, I could be like, "Hey Jeff, how's it going?"
pretty much.
You'd be okay with that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of course you
For sure. There are some sections of friends that call me LJ, but that's just because there's another filmmaker whose name is Jeff. So whenever the two of us are together,
would.
I go to LJ because he's the first Jeff. Like everybody knows him as Jeff.
Wow.
So I'm LJ, right? But I should tell you my story. There was once a time when four Jeffs converged in one spot at a farmer's market. It was the craziest story ever. It was like one of my former neighbors, his name was Jeff. We ran into each other. Then his friend, who's Jeff, runs into him, and we're all there. And then next thing you know, his friend, whose name is Jeff, and we're all J's. There's no G's. I don't have a problem with Jeffries with G's, but Jeffries with G's know where Jeffries with J stands.
So you were all legit Jeffries hanging out.
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy.
So when you
I
were like,
think
"Hey
some.
Jeff, what happened?"
You know what? No one that never really happened. I honestly think there was like a wormhole that opened up and just dumped all the Jeffs they could possibly find into one spot just to see what would happen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It never happened again.
Oh, that was the
Yeah,
one moment.
but yeah, call me Jeff.
All right, Jeff. So,
Yes.
that being said, how long have you been doing this? Like, you, as a filmmaker, I know that you're an actor. Let's talk of you as a filmmaker first.
Yeah. Okay, so how am I doing this how am I doing this project as a filmmaker?
No, how long have you been doing not your
Oh,
film, but just in the industry?
so I started out with my very first short film. Very first one, I believe I was 25. I actually still have a copy. It's on VHS. Started out taking your basic classes at community access TV. Back in the day when you had a SVHS was like all the rage. And I can't remember the name of the actual editing system, but that particular station had one of the first nonlinear editing posts, and the hard drive was actually magnetic tape. It was a cartridge about this big, and it was crazy. But yeah, I made my bones doing a tape to tape editing, the old fashioned way, and then learning non-linearly. But I did my very first one when I was about 24.
I think I saw one of those in like the bottom part of the Academy of Art basement in their archive. Maybe their like
Ah,
museum of like old ways people edited.
mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I know
Yeah.
I can't, like I said, I can't remember the name, but it's not Video Toaster. It was called something else, but
Yeah.
it's definitely one of the precedents. One of the precursors to what we know now.
So you got in through editing.
No, no, no. I actually wrote, directed, and featured myself in this very short film. It was called Love is Stronger. Oh, all about, young angst and romance and just like, why don't you love me? Type thing. So it's like three very short stories about relationships and how people deal with it. It was, I'm not going to say it was one of the firsts, but definitely it gave me the opportunity to start involving other people and other people starting to realize, oh, hey, this is how much time actually goes into creating a short film, because I'd probably say after hour five of shooting, one particular scene, everybody was like ready to go, and I'm still like ridiculously focused and saying, hey, and this is what we're going to do next, and blah blah blah. So doing that, and then I'm a kid of the 90s as far as like all the major independent films that were coming out. Spike Lee was doing his thing, Quentin Tarantino. You had Julie Dash and all of them. Robert Rodriguez, definitely. Like, there was not Rebel Without a Crew is basically should be every filmmaker's like standby, like go to book. So
Awesome. And
yeah.
before that, you were an actor, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yep.
let's talk briefly about that. And why make the transition if you did it all?
Well, you know, the transition happened. Actually, it happened when I had my first son, and even though I was still doing like some filmmaking even before my son was born, the big transition to actually go full blast into filmmaking was because I wanted to be able
Oh, give me
to.
1 second. I'm gonna re-ask this question in just 1 second.
Sure.
Um, okay, I'm gonna re-ask the question in two
Sure.
seconds. I don't know what I
Is
just
there
did.
any way you want me to answer it differently, or?
Nope, it's more like on my end. For some reason, my little head keeps popping in and out like a gopher over here,
Okay.
and I'm not sure why. So I'm trying to figure out like if I can get it to stop doing it, which I thought I did, but I guess I did not. So,
No worries.
um, okay, let's try this question again.
Sure.
So let's talk about your transition from being an actor into becoming behind the scenes.
I was one of those strange actors who always wanted to know what goes on behind the scenes. Whenever I was doing any stage work or what have you, whenever there was a break, I'd always go to the people who were making the props or go towards people who were making the costumes and just kind of see, what was going on. How are you making that? When I actually started to do more, film work, being involved with short films or what have you, it always turned into, hey, what's that camera? What does it do? What's that button there? So I was never the type of person that wanted to just relax and sit in my trailer and yell at the PA for some odd reason or what have you. So once I realized that I wanted to start incorporating film work in my acting world, uh, that's when I actually started to take it a little bit more seriously.
Awesome. All right. So what was your first? Okay, we talked about your first film. And
Hmm.
what was your first big film where you had like your crew, you had a little bit of money maybe,
Oh,
and it all
yeah,
came together?
yeah, you can't go back after you have a taste of that. That was definitely a Midsummer Nightmare: The Betrayal. That was a short film, and we actually raised a little bit of money on Indiegogo. That film, as many mistakes as we were having, either none of the actual production of it, but the pre-production of it, as far as like raising money. The raising money part was when we had our challenges, and we were actually, oh, okay, well, we know try a different crowdfunding website instead of this one, or you know what, maybe you should work on you like your video and being upbeat or what have you. But even with that, we had like a crew of about 30 people, and that was insane. We had an RV that was lent to us. We had people who were donating food. We had like craft services. And DP, we had people. Oh my God, we had like a full on crew that was following the director. And I was one of the producers, but when it actually came time to actually shooting it, I was in charge of making sure that all the footage that was captured was backed up, loaded on the hard drive, and sent back out. So I was a DIT
Mm-hmm.
guy. But having a taste of that, it's like, okay, I can't ever go back to running and gunning. Or I mean, you do, but you always know that you have to evolve. And if you know you're going to do a serious project, you need to have some particular elements to make sure that you have a good product coming out.
How many days was that shoot?
5 days.
5 days. Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow, 30
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
And
big.
30 people kept showing up every five. It was
Yeah, as an
crazy.
independent filmmaker, 30 people
You're still
showing up
here?
every day for 5 days. Yeah, you're like, why? Why are you still here? Wow, there's food too. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah. It was crazy. So that particular year, I had 3 short films that I think was like, oh, okay, now I know how it's done. I had Midsummer Nightmare. I had another short film called All I Think of Is You, and I had another short film that I co-directed with Joshua Siegel from Midsummer Nightmare. We co-directed another short that we actually did in a weekend called Toxin, and that one was where I actually taught myself sound design, basically. So yeah, I had a blast. That particular year, those 3 projects were the best projects that I knew that I could do at that time, and that I'm actually proud to say, hey, look what I made.
Perfect. And where'd they go? What
Yeah.
happened to them? What was the farthest anything has gone and done?
Let's see. Midsummer Nightmare is actually on, and I think Toxin too. There's the Shorts Film Festival, which is up in Chico. Great group of filmmakers that are up there. They created this film festival that's going on now on its 5th year. Every person that has a film there, their project is put on their Roku channel. So the Shorts Film Festival has a Roku channel that, as of right now, has about 25,000 subscribers, and that's not counting uh, their new ability, well, their ability now to go overseas. So now, whoever has a Roku in the UK or whatever, whatever part of the world that allows Roku or what have you, they can get that app. It's free. If you have Roku, get it. That's the Shorts Film Festival. Just do a search, and you can find a Midsummer Nightmare as well as a lot of other great stuff.
And that's coming up soon too, right? The shorts.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I'm actually one of the judges, and I've just seen each year they are getting a lot of great work, as well as your film festival. There are a lot of great films that instead of trying to like fight your way into Sundance or fight your way into like cons or whatever, there are a lot of new film festivals that are giving fresh new voices a chance to be heard, and that's good.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about your latest and greatest project. How you got
Awesome.
into it? What are you doing? Where's it at?
Oh yeah, Macbeth. That show is not leaving my head.
Mm-hmm.
I first did Macbeth when I was in graduate school, and that was my thesis role. And it was awesome. Just the language, the direction that the director was taking with it. I loved that play. And it's amazing because I honestly think that if Shakespeare was alive today, Macbeth would be like his, action flick. I mean, it has everything: sex, blood, betrayal, revenge. It's definitely a total action flick. So after after graduate school, it still kept haunting me. And every so often, I think about, oh, wow, I really wish I could do Macbeth again. Well, if you did do it, how would you do it? And I actually remembered there was a conversation that a lot of actors and I had, like during rehearsals, like, oh, you know what, we should do it post-apocalyptic. It should be done like that, and it's been done a couple of times. So I'm not making anything new or anything, but my particular spin on it is, yes, post-apocalyptic sci-fi Macbeth. It's got everything: blood, witches, the weird sisters. So I'm twisting it a little bit to make it fit my needs. So think of it as, instead of magic, you're looking at alchemy. Instead of Mad Max, post-apocalyptic, you're seeing the rebirth of civilization. Like grass is getting green, just now getting green. Vegetation is just starting to grow. So you're starting to see vines starting to grow over dilapidated buildings. So, there is some type of order that is trying to re-emerge. And because of that, you've got a monarchy instead of a democracy because whatever technology is around in that particular area, that's who had the most power. So
Awesome.
it just, yeah, yeah. So it just so happens that in Scotland, that's where most of the tech ended up being, as well as particular. Oh, I've got everything written down. It's insane, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't share all your secrets.
ah, yeah,
So let's talk about your budget, your camera. What are you using? What's going on here?
So my goal is to actually get the red, either the epic or dragon. Like I'm really shooting for the fence here, swinging for the fences here. I really want this to have a real cinematic. It's so cliche, but I want to have the highest quality uh, product so that I can make the highest quality film.
Yeah.
And if I start talking about philosophies of film and shooting with what you have, which I'm a big proponent of, I just also with saying that I also have a policy of always wanting to evolve after each project that I do. So listening to my intuition, feeling what I see could be like the right fit. I know that I need to have this particular camera or a camera likened to it or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got that. Then finding, actors. I mean, actual actors, like actors.
Like
you know,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. So finding great actors to surround you. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like honestly, so
Perfect.
my budget, I'm looking at $16,000 for green screen, camera rentals, paying. That's another thing I'm trying to do. Pay my crew. I chuckle every time I say that, just because like pay permits. What? So that money's going to feed everybody, rent cameras, rent green screen studio spaces, and various other things, post production, editing, exhibition, getting it in film festivals or what have you. So that's where that money's going to go towards.
Perfect. And give me kind of a timeline. When do you plan on going into production and wrapping?
I'm shooting to start production in October. In my pre-production phase right now, you've probably seen me. I'm tweeting. I'm posting something on Facebook. I'm about to start using Periscope to start blasting it out. But I'm gonna hopefully start shooting. I'm gonna start shooting in October. I hope to at least begin the post-production process. Probably, honestly, probably around December. For that, and hopefully to get done by February, March of next year.
Nice.
So, so having these particular milestones that I think are realistic and are far enough ahead to plan, yeah, I think there's nowhere else to go but up.
And if somebody wants to get involved, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay,
Oh
what
yeah.
can I do? Plug yourself. Tell me all the ways to get involved. What can I do?
Awesome, awesome. So you can do a search for me on Facebook. That's L Jeffrey Moore on Facebook. You can also go to at follow Macbeth. Oh no, no, no. That's at Fall of Macbeth on Twitter.
Say that one more
Then,
time. At
sure.
fall, FALL, not fall.
Yes.
Okay.
At Fall of Macbeth. FALLOFMACBETH.
Perfect.
Yes. And then also Facebook.com// The Fall of Macbeth.
Perfect. Anything else you want to say to anybody who might be listening?
Yeah, check out the proof of concept, which is on YouTube. just do a search for The Fall of Macbeth, L. Jeffrey Moore. You can find it there, or just, Twitter me in the Twitterverse. I like that word, Twitterverse. Anyway, so
Twitterverse.
look for me for the Twitterverse. You can always find certain ditties that I've done, and also find the proof of concept that I have made just to get the feel. I've found my Lady Macbeth, the wonderful, wonderful, most talented actress I could ever find. Her name is Tristan Cunningham. I performed with her, once before, and she is just a delightful person to be around, and just all around, cool chick that is just down for the cause.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me tonight. It is
Cool,
always a
thanks.
pleasure. I can't wait to actually put you out on the bay with the on the bay with our Renee.
God, paddleboats. Yeah, I chose kayaks, right?
You do pick kayaks, yeah,
I
absolutely,
did, I
yeah.
did. I'm just like, what? How will I not fall? So,
I took Dave Mutrey out
mm,
paddleboarding a couple weeks ago,
mm.
and it
How
was
did he do?
he did really good for his first time. He did
Ah,
really good.
cool. Deal.
I
I'll
think
start doing some.
yeah
No, I was going to say I'll start doing some crunches.
yeah, it was. I mean, we put him in a wetsuit,
Oh,
so
okay.
it worked itself out. But it was. I think it's funner to do paddleboarding personally, but
Oh, well, I could change my mind. I don't know
But
if
as for
everything's.
audio, it might be easier if we're in a kayak and not we're not getting soaking wet and having to like mic up and but we'd work
Eh,
around it anyway. So.
cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. We'll
Thank you.
definitely be plugging you all over the place, and I'll make sure to add some lower thirds to that, so that way people can see like where it's at. And
Awesome.
we'll probably do more of these. So keep in touch and have a fantastic night.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. Bye.
Bye.